It's a trap!
Hey everybody, welcome to Movie Herd. My name is Kyle.
And I'm Chan.
And today we're going to be talking about the final original installment of the original
Star
trilogy.
Wars Saga Original. Return of the Jedi.
Which is funny because I think originally they were going to call it Revenge of the Jedi.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
They're like, nah, let's not call it that.
Well, there's even some posters that say Revenge of the Jedi. And those are actually really sought after. Those are pretty expensive, those posters. Because it was like, no, it wasn't a typo, kids. It was actually the original title, and then they recalled them. And it's because George figured out, he's like, you know what? A Jedi does not take revenge. And so it turned out to be okay. Because they used that for Revenge of the Sith. And that worked out perfectly.
It did work out.
Yeah.
And it sounds really cool, because like the third one of the original is Return of the Jedi, and then the third one
of the prequels
is Revenge of the Sith, which makes me wonder, what is the third one going to be called of the Disney trilogy?
The Revenge of the Returning Wannabe Sith. Or something. I don't know. I think it's going to complete its sentence, though. It's like The Force Awakens the Last Jedi from his nap. Like that's the last one. Or something like that.
Well, this is a very kind of usually like the least favorite of the original trilogy.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little more boring.
The Disney era Star Wars are actually graded higher than Return of the Jedi, which I think is dumb because Return of the Jedi is better than anything Disney's come out with yet. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
You can fight me on it. That's okay.
I'm not going to fight. I'm actually going to mostly agree with you.
Okay.
I think for a younger generation, Episode 7 would probably be a little more entertaining, just because Return of the Jedi is kind of slower, sort of. I mean, not much happens really at the beginning.
I love it. I love Return.
It's still good.
When I was a little kid, that was my favorite. Before the prequels came out, like that was my favorite. Yeah. Another fun fact about Return of the Jedi is that. Let's talk about the posters again. Like, they messed up a lot on the posters. But on the poster, another thing, is the lightsaber. Luke's lightsaber's blue on the posters. And it's because his lightsaber was originally going to be blue. Until they got into post-production and they started adding effects to the film. And they realized Luke's lightsaber was disappearing in the blue of the sky. So they're like, okay, let's just make it green. And that's how it worked. And it actually, I think that was really cool. Because at the end of that movie, it ended up being Christmas colors. Green versus red.
Well, the cool thing is they added another color to lightsabers. All we'd seen thus far were red and blue.
Yeah.
And that's it. Well, it was kind of, I guess the blue was a little more whitish-ish. But I mean, I don't know.
Gray blue.
It was gray blue, but it was still blue. It was blue and red. Yeah. And that's all we'd really seen. And then now they introduced green, and that opened up a whole new world for more colors in the prequels. There's a lot of colors, and there's some colors that just aren't canon anymore, thanks to Disney. But there was a lot of colors before Disney took over. I mean, there was turquoise, I think turquoise is actually still in there. There was oranges, there was yellows, there was different shades of each of them, too. It wasn't just like one.
I know black's canon.
White is too.
The ancient black canon. That was in Clone Wars. Yeah.
This did have some pretty cool fight scenes, and the last half of this movie was pretty epic. I gotta say, like it was not boring by any means. Parts of it are slower for sure, but I mean there's slow parts in all of them.
I think partly why this gets graded so harshly is because it was after it just got done after the best installment ever, Empire Strikes Back, and then they go to this, and it just kind of paled in comparison. It's just tough to have those side by side. I think that's why audiences were a little disappointed, and too for the foreseeable future, that was the last Star Wars movie. Return of the Jedi was so, and it was the last one for a good long while till 1999, and I think fans were like, wow, this is it. Dang it, it should have been a little bit better, and it's like I wish they kept Irvin Kershner on board. Or I heard Steven Spielberg almost directed Return of the Jedi, but he couldn't because it was It wasn't a Directors Guild or Film Guild associated film. So Steven only could really, because he was an independent, like those first 3 films, George made it so they weren't really a part of any big company, and so it wasn't a part of any guilds. And so Spielberg, dang it, Spielberg couldn't direct it. But
that would have been cool, because that was like Spielberg was kind of in his prime.
Yeah,
around that time.
Yeah, it was the year after E.T.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was like...
His filmmaking is phenomenal. That would have been awesome.
Oh, wow. I can't believe it. Then that would have been great if Spielberg could do that.
I think one of the things that a lot of people don't understand is that when you have a trilogy or sequels, multiple sequels of a movie, most of the time, it's a very rare occasion when the movies go from good to better to best. That almost never happens in like a trilogy or in sequels.
A lot of the times the first one's the best.
And then the second one sucks, and then the third one kind of reprises it a little, or like, brings it back, revives it a little bit. And this time it was good, best, kind of good. It was pretty good. Like, it wasn't like bad. It was not bad at all.
This trilogy reminds me of the Dark Knight trilogy, where it was the first one was awesome, everyone loved it, and they were starving for more. And then we did get more, and it was even better. And then the third one was like, it was still great, and it was a great film. If it was a movie just by itself, bam, it would be awesome. But if it wasn't next to Dark Knight or this one next to Empire Strikes Back, it just kind of... And I actually kind of predicted that with the Batman movies. When I heard when Heath passed, I was like, you're never going to beat Joker. And I didn't think they intend, and Joker's not going to be in this next one, so it probably won't be as good. No matter who they throw at us, it's not going to be as good. So he kind of predicted that. But with Return of the Jedi, I think it's a little more complicated than that.
I am glad that they brought back Han Solo, though.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they knew if they were going to do that or not.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Harrison didn't want to do it.
Yeah, Harrison wasn't sure that... He felt like his character should have been killed off, because he's like, I got no mom, I got no dad, got no backstory. This could be something I could, this could be add some weight to my character. And nope, it didn't happen. I'm glad they didn't.
I'm glad they didn't too, because to be honest, my favorite part of episode 7, if you haven't seen it yet, this is a huge spoiler, is when Han Solo dies. Like,
that's messed up, man.
I know I know that's so weird to say. But it's... And I don't like really Kylo Ren, like, at least not yet. I feel like I'm going to like him better in this next one. Mm-hmm. But at that moment, because of Harrison Ford and his history as Han Solo and his acting ability, he's a very well-seasoned actor, he made that moment special. Mm-hmm. He made that moment great. He brought out the best parts of Kylo Ren. And I can't remember the guy's name who plays Kylo Ren.
Adam Driver.
I knew it started with an A. He brought out the best, I think, acting in that moment that he could do to make that moment special. Mm-hmm. And it was really sad. I was not expecting that, to be honest.
This was one of those prime examples of the story writing you and not you writing the story. They originally wanted Poe Dameron to die, and then they were like, no, we can't do that. And then Harrison's always wanted that ending. He always wanted to die. He wanted to die in this one. So he finally got his death. And so they were able to fulfill a lot of things. They were also able to add a lot of weight to Force Awakens. So you're right. That's probably one of the best key moments is Harrison Ford dying, and also I don't think Disney wanted to pay him $39 million again. Just kidding. No. It's not that. It's not about the money. So but
that's why I'm glad they brought him back. It's because they needed him back, and they didn't know they needed him back.
Yeah, for that.
Yeah,
I'm glad that was a more meaning sacrifice than just dying in carbonite.
Oh yeah, because that would have been dumb.
Harrison was a huge star by that point, by 83, because Harrison did the years that he wasn't in Star Wars. 81 he did Raiders of the Lost Ark. 82 he did Blade Runner. 83 is around the... So they were like, crap, are we going to even get Ford? Is he going to be too busy? Like, at that point, he was a huge star, like height of his success, like right there. So he almost didn't, but I'm glad he did.
I'm glad he did too.
Yeah. Because he came back for a more meaningful sex. So if you look at it that way, I'm not... Okay, you made me feel better about Han's death. I admit that. I'm still sore about that. But...
Well, I'm also really happy that Carrie... We haven't talked about Carrie Fisher like almost at all. During these original trilogies. She is so good in these movies. And sometimes I feel like she's very overshadowed by Harrison Ford because Harrison Ford is really good as well. Mm-hmm. But... Han Solo.
And we're guys. We're boys. We gravitate towards the boys.
We do. Yeah. But Han Solo. We have to remember that Han Solo is not Han Solo
without Princess Leia. Yeah.
Without the princess, there is no Han Solo. Like, there's nothing.
That's a good point.
Because if you think about it, first of all, they would have had no princess to go save, so he would have been done halfway through the first movie. Yeah. It's like, that's why she's so important.
And if let's say they were saving a prince, Han's like, once they were done, he was done.
He's gone.
He would have left. He's like, I don't care. But he stuck around for Leia because he fell for her. You know, he was like, I like this girl, you know. Other than that, Leia was the only thing that could tie Han down, and nothing else could. And you're right. That's just perfect. Without Leia, there's no Han.
Which actually, even in episode 7, going back to that real quick, we're going to talk about more in the next video, but it adds more layers to Leia even. And that's why Han is so important in Return of the Jedi. Which is kind of funny because he doesn't play like the biggest part in Return of the Jedi. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, out of the rest of them, he does play a big part, don't get me wrong. But we're so familiar with his character by this point that I think they feel like they don't need to do anything super, super special. Mm-hmm. But they lined it up perfectly to do something really special for later movies that they didn't know even were going to be made. Mm-hmm. So I think that's really cool. And I think that Disney is quite smart for doing that. Yeah. But we'll talk about more about that one in the next video. Yeah. I think it's really cool because I think is it this one that they added Ewoks in? Yep. This is the first time Ewoks happen. Those little guys over there. And a fun fact about that is that Ewoks were actually compromised. A lot of things happened, and iconic things happened in 4, 5, and 6 because of compromise. And thank goodness for that. But they were actually gonna go to Kashyyyk and have the last battle at Kashyyyk instead of Endor, and it was out of their budget, like casting that many tall people and having that like armies of Wookiees. So what happened is like, for every one Wookiee costume they could do like 4 Ewoks. So they did 4 or 5 Ewoks. So they ended up doing Ewoks instead, which is cool. It made up a new planet, a new species. But you know what? Honestly, I think this movie everyone would love this movie if it was a set on Kashyyyk. I'm just putting it out there. I think that would have been cooler if it was on Kashyyyk. And then Revenge of the Sith be on Endor. Because so they were able to do that in Revenge of the Sith. They visited Kashyyyk in there, but I felt like Kashyyyk wasn't that big of a thing in Revenge of the Sith. So it's overshadowed.
Yeah, you know how cute that would be? Yoda hanging out with the Ewoks, like he's like the same size with it. Word. Let's just switch that, and that would have been awesome.
That would have been so. That would have been so fun. Because like,
they would have made up Ewoks for the prequels too, because they wouldn't have been around. Yeah. That
would have been so cool. Yeah. Wow, I wish they would have done that.
That would be cool, Yoda with the whole army of Ewoks.
That'd be so funny.
That would have been awesome. Yeah.
And they would have been able to do the Ewoks pretty, like they already got Wookiees down, like in the original trilogy, but the Ewoks were, I think, a little bit more difficult for them, just because they had like fake eyes and stuff like that. I think they would have been able to do an army of Wookiees easier than they would have done. Not obviously more expensive, but easier than they would have done like the Ewoks. I think it would have been easier.
Oh man, I'm just making myself depressed now.
All right, no, we can't talk about that.
I wanted like that would have been so epic, because that's part of people's problems with Return of the Jedi. Like, how was the Empire overthrown by teddy bears? By these guys? How did that happen? But it's more believable if the Wookiees overthrew them, right? Yeah. You know what epic of a fight that would be?
And it would have been a really long fight. That would have been so much better.
You're like swinging into the.
Well, we didn't get that. No. That's okay. It was still an enjoyable movie.
I almost want to make a short film now and just have what if.
How it should have ended.
Yeah, how it should have ended with.
How it should have ended, people. Make something like that, I actually really like the end of this, and I'm going to spoil the ending a little bit here, and it's been out for years, so
it's been out since 83.
Not even a spoiler. I love the moment when Luke cuts off Darth Vader's hand.
Oh yeah.
Because that is so symbolic. My foot thingy just gave way. That's so symbolic of because Darth Vader cut off Luke's hand in the movie prior to this, and Luke finds out and sees that, his Darth Vader's hand is a robotic hand, and my hand's a robotic hand, and he just like
he's starting to be like, if I keep going down, if I keep cutting, I'm going to turn into Vader.
Yeah.
Which, when I was a little kid, I misunderstood it, and I took it literally. Because you take things more literally when you're a little kid. Holy crap, he cut off his hand, and now his hand is Vader's hand. Like, literally, I thought it literally happened. What goes along with that, I don't know if you know this, but when he'd stopped, his flap flapped over, and he was wearing black the whole movie, hinting that he was going to be dark. But the flap, and it was white. And so because he didn't kill him, and he saved him, the flap flipped over, and now there's white. Now that he's good.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah. I noticed that actually. Not at first, obviously, when I watched it, but I did notice that. That's a really cool symbolic thing that they put in there.
Visually symbolic.
This movie is a great ending to the original trilogy and kind of a great ending to Star Wars, but then they continued it. And that's kind of our question for you today. What do you think they should have continued Star Wars? Should they have just ended it and left it? Or should Disney have continued it? I don't know. I think there's good and bad things for both. But let us know in the comments below. And if you like this video, hit that subscribe button. Let us know, or check out some of our other videos, that we've done. We've done all the other Star Wars movies, and we're going to be doing Episode 7 next time. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you next time. Hey guys, if you like that video, check out some other ones. Over here.
Over here.
Or over here. Ooh.